Hello everyone, Steve from Tech Toy Tinker and Retro Arena. I've had a few requests with the Aya Neo Pocket S asking me to go more in depth with the higher end emulation. So I figured we would do that. Play a couple of the harder to run games from each. Now, I am on max settings. The reason for this is because game mode is only about half power, and balanced is about 25%. Aya Neo is aware of the problem. The current solution that's being proposed here is to bring the slider bar from Windows to Android so you can custom control the TDP and just slide it to where you want and then save a preset. Also, the way that I got my screen like this was to edit the size, and then you can drag it to where you want it to be. I can do this, swap the screens around. Mario Kart. But the takeaway here is that you can make 3DS take up the screen if you want to, either single screen or dual screen. Clearly, I should have been paying more attention instead of just pressing buttons, but whatever, it happens. Mario! Let's go! Oops. I feel like that should be enough to give you a good general idea of the performance of that. We'll do this and maybe one more game. Probably the Zelda one next. I feel like most of you are already going to know this game. If you don't, then, well, that's its own issue. I'm actually not going to really go too into depth with playing that one, just because it's a game everybody knows. Let's go Ocarina of Time. So this is 3DS, obviously. We'll do a couple PS2 games, some Yuzu games. And yes, I still use Yuzu. I own a Switch, I dump my own games. I'll do what I want. Besides share them, obviously. I've had reasonably good performance with Citra here. There's occasionally some dips here and there, but nothing crazy. Nothing that I would consider to make a game unplayable or even really that bad. Like you just saw, there was a momentary pause there, but nothing to write home about. Not a big deal. FPS drops during a full motion video isn't really relevant. Honestly, you can't even tell in the video where the FPS drop is. It doesn't make any difference. I will say this does look better than N64 though. Also, from doing some testing earlier, the Windows ARM build with the Snapdragon libraries, whatever you want to call them, DLL files, with some tweaking, you can actually get it to boot on this device. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't work, but Windows 10, or Windows ARM 10, I guess, is bootable. It's going to take a lot of work to get it up to snuff, but it is possible. No promises that I personally am going to do it because I'm more into Linux, but there are Windows users out there, so I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that. Although I might, if there's enough interest, I might spend some time working on Windows as well. I think you have a good idea here as to how the game's going to be. It's pretty stable in terms of the FPS. Just want to get out of the bed and walk around. So as you can see, the graphics are good. There's no crazy slowdowns or lag or anything. You get the idea. So that's Citra. We're going to go into Aether now. I'm using Vulkan 2x res. I could probably push it to 3 or 4, but for the sake of this video, I more just want to show you the performance more so than anything. So, and again, we are on max settings. You could probably drop it to game for some of these games. I just don't care. It's not like it's destroying the battery or anything. And I hear my son waking up upstairs. Thank goodness for my wife. I have no idea what I would do without her. Besides, I have to cut the video short, obviously. I forget where the FPS counter is here, but I want it on. There we go. .9 FPS is definitely acceptable. I mean, what are you going to say about it? Looks good too, even just on 2x res. Notice the FPS, 59, 60. I don't want to keep you guys with playing the same games forever, so I'm going to move on. I don't need to do Dirge of Cerberus or God of War, I don't think, because next I'll do God of War. But some of these games for the next did in his video, and there's no point in doing the same thing twice, right? Like, just watch his video if you want to see that. We're also working on Magist root for the kernel, and I've been told by a couple of users that once they do all the updates and their Play Store loses certification, they can, go in with device APK, get the Google Services framework, and then fix it. However, when they reboot the device, they're finding that sorry, the game froze. I have no idea why. Anyway, when they reboot their device, they're finding that the Google Services Framework ID changes. So what I've done is I sat down with, I guess Arthur and a couple of the Neo techs, and I brought that to their attention, along with a couple other issues. So those will be fixed in a upcoming update. Also, for anybody having issues with their SD card not working after they format it in the device, it's because you haven't updated your software. You need to do that. If you do find any serious bugs, by the way, while using this, feel free to send them to me, and I will verify them, and I will escalate them upstream to IA Tech support and get them fixed. The goal is for this to run as smoothly as possible, and for it to dual boot Linux and Windows. Or sorry, Linux and Android. Windows might be a thing, we'll see. If you haven't played this game, by the way, I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun. And plus, who doesn't like The Simpsons?
Hey, I'm endorsing a new cola, kids. And this one isn't poisonous to anybody that we know of.
This is the 1440p screen, by the way. And it is set to 1440p. Let's see here. There we go. So at 4x res, we're getting 50 FPS. Let's try 3.
Cola. Mustard Buzz Cola.
That's weird. It doesn't make sense that it would stay there. Oh, well, even on 2x res, it's staying at 50 FPS. It's kind of weird. The game's not performing slow, so I'm not sure. As you can see, it says 50 FPS, but it's not slow. So let's see here. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if this is... Oh, it's a PAL ROM. Ah, right. I should have paid attention to where I was getting the game from on eBay. That would have made more sense. Yeah. Okay, well, whatever. So this is 4X res. We don't really need to care about the finer details. It looks fine and it plays fine. That's what matters. But if I move it closer here, the resolution is great. And yes, the fan is on high. I guess we'll do one more PS2 game. Just so we can say we tested it thoroughly. Now, this is a USA ROM, so it should be 60. We are still at 4X. I may need to lower it to 3. I don't know. I haven't pre-tested some of these games in advance. I don't know how they work or how well. I feel like if I rehearse my videos before I do them, it takes away from the overall feeling of doing the video itself. We're learning this together at the same time, and I prefer to keep it that way. I'm not a reviewer. I'm a developer, right? So I don't do product reviews. It's not my field. I mean, if you want product reviews, you can... Like, I got friends that do that. Retro Game Corps, ETA Prime. They do great reviews on products. I encourage you to watch their channels for reviews. My thing is developer previews, and I'm going to keep it that way. Oh, I like that. I forgot how fun this game was. Evil Dead is one of my favorite movies of all time. Evil Dead 1, 2, and Army of Darkness. Some real great stuff there. Oh, I love it. I don't even care if I get demonetized for the violence. Whatever. It is what it is. Evil Dead is great. If you haven't seen those movies, I highly encourage you to watch them. It's not for children, though, so probably not with your kids around. Alright, so let's check this out here. Now, somebody asked how Tears of the Kingdom works, so let's just look at it. There's kind of, what's the word for it? Maybe the occasional graphic flicker with Vulkan, but it's not unplayable, nor does it break the game, in my opinion. And just because, after this I'm going to show you some things about Yuzu. See how it's kind of flickering a little bit there? Nothing too crazy, but it is a thing. The FPS is decent. Notice how we're getting pretty close to a stable 30 FPS. As you can see, like, this flickers a little bit, but that's about it. If you can deal with the bit of flicker here and there, you won't have an issue. So now, I said I'd show you guys something about Yuzu. You want to get CX File Explorer, and you want to install it. Then you want to go to Android, Data, Yuzu, and at this point it'll ask you to authorize access to the folder, and you want to do that. Now, you want to download the Switch 18.0 firmware as a zip, and then you want to copy that zip into Files, NAND, System, Contents, Registered. So you copy the zip into this location. You might want to pause the video here. Copy the zip in here, and then you extract the zip here. You want all the raw NCA files there. What that will do is it will give your Switch emulator the latest firmware. You need this because if you don't do that step, certain games like, let's see here. Certain games like Mario Kart 8, they will not boot without the firmware. It doesn't have to be 18.0 for that. It can be like 17 or 16.8 or whatever the hell it is. But you may as well get the latest firmware. Why not? But as you can see, it's working fine. So if you're trying to play Mario Kart 8, there's also several other games, but if you're trying to play this and it's not working, that's why. There's also a way to install DLCs as well. It's not unlike the method on PC. It has to go into the internal NAND as well. But you can install DLC packs for YouTube games on Android. Again, I don't condone piracy, but if you own the game and you want to play it on a different platform, I see no reason why that's a problem. As long as you bought the game, you should be able to play it wherever you want. That's my personal opinion. And that's not going to change. I really don't care about Nintendo's feelings. If I give them my money for a game, it's my game to play where I want. So there was some slowdown there. That's not unusual though, because when using the Vulkan API, it often needs to compile shaders. So your first 10-15 minutes of playing through a game, it will need to compile those shaders. Subsequent playthroughs in the future should be a lot faster than the first time. It's just how the Vulkan API works and how shader cache works. As you can see, once it's more established, I'm getting pretty close to a solid 60 FPS. I don't want this video to take all night, so I'm not gonna make you watch me play that forever. However, let's do something else that's more difficult. I think I did Mario Wonder in a previous video, so let's do 3D World, and I'm gonna go to Bowser's Fury. I also plan to do a video on Win later, but I still haven't set up all the games I wanted to play with and showcase on there, so I'm going to wait to a different day to do that. Alright, so watch the FPS in the top left corner. You get the idea. I've never tried this. I don't know if it's patched yet. Although again, Matt Stone and Trey Parker are... I mean, I've been watching not even just South Park, but like Cannibal the Musical and Orgasmo and Basketball. I have a lot of respect for Matt Stone and Trey Parker, and don't pirate their work. I guess that's not currently running. It does run on real hardware, obviously. I'll look into it and see if I can patch it to get it working. No promises, but... This game is amazing. It's one of my favorite Switch games, hands down. I mean, the original Mario Strikers is also really good. Not just the Switch version. If you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah. Got it.
Ooh. Didn't see that coming. The game definitely does not crash on PC. I'm gonna have to do this on a rock chip CPU. See if it's an ARM problem or a Snapdragon problem. Let's try one more. Why not? It could also be a Vulkan problem. I really hate how Switch makes you watch these darn intros. It's kind of irritating. I have better things to do with my time, honestly. Yeah. Also, the D-pad here. Let me turn this down for a second so you can hear it in the mic. So, it feels nice. It's got a decent click to it, but not too much. It's got a good membrane, it feels like. I like it. Is it the best D-pad I've ever used? No. Is it the worst? Not even close. It does feel nice. This is a lot of damn reading. You know what? I'm just going to skip this. I really don't want to do it. Let's see here. Let's go to advanced settings, graphics, normal bilinear. Yeah, alright, fair enough. Kids love this, so we'll do this quickly. I mean, personally, I like Bluey too. It's hilarious. I don't know about you guys, but it looks real nice. Look at that. Look at how beautiful this picture looks. So, as you can see, Switch is definitely playable on this. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it's far from not good. It's very much playable, and usually at a very good frame rate as well. Let's hop on Redream for a second here. I am a Redream Premium member, and as such, I have access to higher resolutions, so 1920 by 1440, for example. So if we were to launch Mortal Kombat Gold, let's see what that looks like here. There's no point in having a 1440p display and then not using it, right? So Get Redrain. It's only $5. Do yourself the favor. It works on PC as well, not just Android.
Unicom Developments Limited Entertainment Software Games. Electronic fun for everyone.
This video went on a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but that's irrelevant. It is what it is. It happens. MK4 moves a lot faster than 1, 2, or 3. So if you've not played it, be prepared for that. Just a quick example. You'll see what I mean right away. Look at that. The character movement is faster. Woohoo! Ouch! Unexpected victory. That should have literally said unexpected victory. I thought I was going to lose that for sure. But you get the idea, right? You can upscale Dreamcast. Looks real good. Where's Candleman? Did I really not install Candleman? That doesn't make sense. Alright, well. I have a Google Game Pass, which also I highly recommend. Oh, there it is. There's, I think, about 3,000 games included with the Google Pass, and almost all of them cost money, or you could just pay $5 a month and play whatever you want. But, as I've said in previous videos, Candleman is amazing. It has full controller support. It's a very well thought out strategy / puzzle game, and graphically it looks beautiful. I showed this on the RG556, the ARC-D. This is a more powerful handheld.
Alone in the darkness.
This will also be the only Android game I'm going to show, specifically because I plan to do a video just on Android games like FPS games, RPGs, adventure platformers.
Why do I burn?
But I highly recommend you get this game. I do believe in giving credit where credit is due, and the developers who made Candleman put a lot of time and focus and energy into this. So it's not just about walking around from place to place. You got to find these little candles here and light them up. There's a certain number of them per level, and you can only flash your wick a certain number of times per level. So you got to be careful what and where you do things. Like there might be another candle hidden over here. I have no idea. Nope, not this time. See how nice this looks, though. In favor of not making the video unnecessarily longer than it has to be, I'm going to go ahead and not do that. Now, there's Dolphin. Wii works okay, so does GameCube. I love that. Graphic settings, backend, OpenGL. No, I don't care. It won't matter for this. Let's just do 1080, whatever. The reason why you get that invalid read message, like I just did, is because I'm not using standard ISO files. There's another compression method you can use called CISO, which makes the files smaller, but at the same time it can have the drawback of a crash or an invalid read. I felt I'd explain that because almost nobody knows that. So with Mario Sunshine, you can skip the intro and all the BS. That's why I like it. Or Sunburn, sorry. Although, so I was a little overzealous there, but for most of you that have played this game on different emulators, you will know that when you turn the camera rotation, it always lags for a couple seconds right off the hop there. On this device, that's not true. I'm not going to go too much further into that. GameCube works fine. So does Wii. Most Switch games work. Most PS2 games work. And so that's about the crux of emulation on this device. It works a lot better than, say, the Game Force Ace or even the RG556. And I'm friends with Gaofeng, and I'm friends with Ameridroid, and I'm friends with people that work at Anbernic, obviously. But this device does work very well. It does cost more, but you get what you pay for in this sense, and it's going to be a lot better for higher end emulation. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up there though, because we're at like 40 minutes. But as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comments if you want to see other things played or other games tested or anything like that. Take care.